The first boot will take a while. If you want to see what's actually going on, click into the window, your virtual machine window, and press enter, and it will change over to a console showing you what is actually going on. You'll be able to see that here shortly that there will be all the services will be loaded into the system. That will be required for the system to be set up and to boot for the first time. As you can see, it's mounting the ZFS file systems. If you get this error about updating the system BIOS, that's okay. Every system that I've loaded has come up with this error, but it continues to work just fine. This is the error I'm talking about right here. At any time, if you want to release the mouse control from your virtual machine, use the right control. And to grab control of the virtual machine again, click in the virtual machine window. Okay, now we can log in. The base user for this system is HPC user, and the password is HPC user. The root password for the virtual image has been preset to HPC distro, which is HPC distro, and you can change that just like you can users once you become familiar with the system. You need to agree to the licensing. If you scroll all the way down, read all the license information, and then close that window. And then it will ask you if you accept the license. Click OK. As you can see, networking was being configured. So we want to start a console and check if we have configured our networking correctly. This is one other item that we may have to do a little fixing for the conversion. So we want to use the command ifconfig-a to look at the network configurations. Okay. As you can see, we have this network interface E1000G1. We should have E1000G1 dash or colon 1, 2, and 3, which we don't configured. And this is a problem that occurs when you're doing the load of this VMware image into VirtualBox. So to fix that, we want to switch user and become root. Remember, the password is HPC distro. Must have typed it wrong. HPC distro. There we go. Okay. These particular interfaces are configured on these zones. There are two additional, it's a Solaris specific type of virtual machine called zones, and we want to halt the zones. These are our compute nodes, So we want to do zone ADM dash Z. We want node 1, and we want to halt it. We want to also halt zone number 2. Okay, now we go into the zone's configuration, and we want to change directory to etc zones, and we want to look for the node 1 XML file and node 2 XML file and edit that. So we're going to use vi as the editor. We're going to edit node 1 XML. We'll do a search for the physical address. So use your / and search on E1000. And we want this to actually read G1. So use R, replace the 0, and type in 1. So now to save the file, you do a : write, and quit. So it's W, quit, return. Okay, so now we want to edit the node 2 XML file. Again, do a search for E1000, and we want to change the G0 to G1. Remember, that's put it on the character 0, push R for replace it with the character 1, do escape, : and write quit. Okay, so now we restart our zones with zone ADM dash Z node 1, boot, and then zone ADM dash Z node 2, boot. We check to see that the zones are now running and booted. We do zone ADM list dash V. Okay, we can see that the zone statuses of all 3 zones are now running. We want to check that the SunGrid engine grid system is running, so we're going to give it a command qstat, which is qstat -f. So it'll give us a full status of the queues. So as you can see, the queues on node 1 and node 2 are up. Their state, there's no errors listed here, meaning there's no error conditions. So it is up and running. Okay, now we have our system up and running. You can start by going to Sun Studio and developing some software and submitting it to the grid.